on the bill seeking to amend laws relating to anti-money laundering and combating of terrorism financing and proliferation financing. This is a bill that seeks to combat and curb, or technically bring to an end, the issue of money laundering in the country, this being among the financial laws of the country. Allow me to hand over for this live broadcast of the National Assembly as the Speaker of the House, Honorable Dr. Moses Wetangula, has stepped into the chamber this afternoon, ready to preside over the business. Enjoy your viewing and have yourself a great afternoon.
Mheshimiwa, tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umeteua nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala haki wa wanadamu, tukusihi utazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao wameridhika kutuita tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Tukuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako siendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Sergeant, ring the quorum bell.
The quorum bell is ringing at the National Assembly following the directives by the Speaker that the Senate terms do exactly that, to allow the House raise quorum for the next 5 or 10 minutes. But as we await for that quorum to be attained, the other bill that the House is set to consider in the Committee of the Whole House is the bill on the Conflict of Interest Bill that the President of the Republic of Kenya has expressed some reservations on it, this being a number of them. And among the issues the President has raised is the inclusion of family and relatives in the bill, and proper definition of the two, being family and relatives, in the bill, to ensure that the issues of conflict of interest do not arise. The clause 5 of the Conflict of Interest Bill provides that the act shall be administered by a reporting authority and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, which is a matter that the President has expressed reservation on, and he is recommending that the reporting authority be removed from the bill, and instead we have the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission having the full mandate to deal with the issues of conflict of interest. Clause number 6 of the bill provides for the functions of the Commission under the Act, and in the President's memoranda to Parliament, President William Ruto recommends that, in the view of the foregoing, that Clause 6 of the bill be amended by of proceedings for forfeiture of undeclared and unexplained assets. So basically, these recommendations, so to speak, set to seal loopholes under which public monies may be misappropriated when we speak of undisclosed assets. There are a number of reservations in regards to this bill that Parliament is set to consider this afternoon, and we need a simple majority for the House to agree with the President's memoranda. And in the event that the House decides to dissent or disagree with the President's recommendations to the House requires 233 members. The report on the consideration of the audited accounts of state corporations for the Central Region is lined up for resumption of debate this afternoon. This motion is by the Chairperson, Public Investments Committee on Governance and Education. This is the other committee of PIC. Remember, the Public Investment Committee was split into two to ensure that Parliament is able to deal with the issues of audit conclusively. So we have the PIC on governance and education, and the other one on social services, administration and agriculture. The Political Parties Amendment Bill, Bill number 2, this being Political Amendments Bill number 2, and this is a bill from the Senate, Bill number 26 of the year 2024, is lined up for debate this afternoon. I gather that the quorum has been attained, so kindly allow me to hand over for this live broadcast. Enjoy your viewing and have a great afternoon.
Order, honorable members, we now have quorum to transact business. Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Clerk, the communication is not here yet. Where is it? Yes. Order, members on their feet, take your seats. Take your seats. Wamurata, take the nearest. Wamurata, take the nearest seat. Yes. Order, honorable members, as you are aware, yesterday, this country lost one of its greatest sons in the literary world, Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o, a prolific writer from this country who played in the league of Chinua Achebe, Aikwe Ama, Elek Amadi, Flora Nwapa, and many other African writers who wrote many books to open up the literary world in this country. Next week on Tuesday, I'll give the House 30 minutes to eulogize Professor Ngugi. But for now, as a patriotic House and in recognition of this great son of Kenya, who is one of those who founded, developed, and grew the Department of Literature at the University of Nairobi, with the likes of Okoti Bitek, Michere Mugo the late, Chris Wanjala, Francis Imbuga, John Ruganda, and others. I ask you to be upstanding. We observe a minute's silence in honor of this great son of Kenya, and I'm a little disappointed that our media today I would have expected Ngugi's picture on the front page of every newspaper. The same way we put the picture of the Pope, the same way we put the picture of Chinua Achebe when he died, the same way we have been putting non-deserving headlines. Chinua Achebe, Ngugi wa Thiong'o should have been the headline in each and every newspaper today. And as a house, I think you can join your speaker in recording this disappointment. So let's observe a minute's silence. And I expect many of you to chairs of the house.
Thank you so much.
If you'll need an hour, I'll give you an hour. I welcome and wish them a fruitful and inspiring visit. And I also wish that they join in bringing order to our great university. Thank you. Yes, yes, Sunguli.
I know, Mr. Speaker, that I cannot deride on your statement, but having been an alumni of the University of Nairobi, shouldn't it in order that I also join you in welcoming this good delegation from the University of Nairobi? Mr. Speaker, I say so because we are nowadays emphasizing on science and things to do with our hands. But this department deals with the thinking brain. And I think that it is important that the universities do not forsake the arts so that we can be able to get a group of people who will actually be able to map out the future of our country because of their thoughts. You're welcome, and I hope you find that this house is actually quite useful, but don't decide to descend to this floor because it can be murkier. Think for us as a country and show us the direction.
Is it on the same issue? I also an alumni of the university.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I know majority of us are alumni of the University of Nairobi, the only university with a "they." But also as an ongoing student for the second time in the Faculty of Law, let me welcome my fellow students to Parliament and wish them all the best. And also just to encourage them, because the particular course they are undertaking is very important for their work in terms of the political space. So I welcome them very much and tell them that do not be deterred, keep the courage going on, because education is the one thing that nobody will ever take away from you. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Owen Bayer, you also went to the University of Nairobi.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, fortunately, I didn't go to the university. I went to the best university. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to say this about the supposedly University of Nairobi. That
Order, Owen Bayer. You must withdraw that remark.
I withdraw respectfully.
It is not supposed. It is the university.
Okay. But I want to say this, Honorable Speaker, we have seen trends that the people who have been at the University of Nairobi have been busy destroying the same university. This is one of the iconic symbols of not only Kenya, but also East Africa, as one of those universities that are respected. But we have seen people have been given responsibility to run that university. And instead of running it, they have been running it down. And I want to request anybody given an opportunity, chairpersons, chancellors, vice chancellors that have been given an opportunity to run universities to actually do exactly that. Otherwise, we will waste a whole generation just because of one person's personal interest in a university. So the councils that are running universities and the board of management that run university, Honorable Speaker, need to be selfless and think about the institutions that they are running, not about themselves. We saw the case of the council of University of trying to destroy a very important institution in not just East Africa, but Africa, the University of Nairobi. So I want to urge those that will come after these other guys have left office to actually go there and manage. When the University of Nairobi goes down, Kenya goes down with it. The academia in this country goes down with it. And therefore, it is something that all of us, even those of us who went to some of the best universities in this country, which is actually not the University of Nairobi, need to actually support. That University of Nairobi must stay afloat. It must be properly managed so that we still retain the reference that the world has for Kenya through University of Nairobi. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, if we were to give everyone who went to the University of Nairobi an opportunity, most of the people in this house would stand. And just by a show of hands, those who went to the university, thank you very much. Yes, I want to tell the Honorable Owen Baya that you cannot say you went to the best university when you can't even pronounce its name. You appear to be ashamed of the very university you went to. We are sorry for you. But Mr. Speaker, on a serious note, I wanted to say that we welcome the students of the university and the staff. But it is a serious point that the University of Nairobi appears to be going down. It could well be on account of management. It could well be on account of political interference. It could well be on any other account. Mr. Speaker, I think this is a point that the Education Committee needs to take up, because it is a very bad sign when the University of Nairobi keeps having scandals and issues on the newspapers all the time. It will cause us to, remove the prefix there before the university, and we cannot afford to do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think everybody here has something to say. Let me close with Carolo Mondi. Did you also go to the university?
I was trying to remember my admission number. Right, Honorable Speaker. I attended the University of Nairobi Faculty of Law. Honorable Speaker, I also joined my colleagues in welcoming the students of the University of Nairobi. And also want to acknowledge that on 26th May 2025, GPR 3104, Social Foundations of Law and Development, this is an examination done this week. They actually based by yours truly, Karoli Omondi, which is proposing that at points of payments for sale of goods and services, cash option be made mandatory. And the question was, having read the bill, they said, discuss the functions of law reform in light of the above passage. Drawing illustrations from the passage, discuss the relationship between law, reform, and social change. 20 marks. But apart from that, Honorable Speaker, let me also say something and urge my colleagues here. The power of alumni. I think we need to come out as alumni of University of Nairobi and defend it, because there is political interference in the management of the University of Nairobi. It is not that those who are there are not able to run the university, but there is a bigger, more fundamental issue. And if you look at the history of this country, when the alumni of the University of Nairobi and Makerere and Dar es Salaam were the principal public servants, the standards were very high in public service and everywhere. That is documented in studies. Today, there is a problem. There is a problem. I don't want to go further than that, but Honorable Speaker, thanks for that.
All of you who are members of the University of Nairobi alumni, if you start a movement, yours truly here will be part of it, to revive our university. Who, Wangari? You also went there?
Yes. And it's important.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, I wanted to confirm that even women, myself, Honorable Mayaka, went to the University of Nairobi. And our Deputy Speaker was a teacher there. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, the University of Nairobi stood out not as just an academic giant, but also as a serious incubator of leaders. Myself, I was the vice chair of SONU in 2006 in the university, Mr. Speaker, and we have seen the metamorphosis, what has happened to the leadership, to the administration, and I agree that with Honorable Karoli, we are very many here. maybe we should start a serious caucus of the university, because to read what is going on in that university is heartbreaking. And we hope that even these students, they can revive their students' union exactly to make sure that they also push for what should happen in the university, so that it does not happen as it is like the leadership is in bed with the administration. That separation, Mr. Speaker, was very important. So I hope that we can pick it up, as you say, but and redeem the face of the University of Nairobi. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, members. Allow me to acknowledge, apart from those the University of Nairobi students and teachers, in the Speaker's Gallery, there's Mudhembwa Secondary School from Masinga, Machakos. Students, when you are mentioned, you stand so that the House can acknowledge you. Kiunis, in the public gallery, we have Kiunis Schools at the river from Mavoko, Machakos. Kenegut Day Secondary School from Ainamoi, Kericho. Nam Schools from Roysambu, Nairobi. Eselengei Supat Girls from Kajiado, East Kajiado. And Kihoya Primary School from Kangema, Murang'a. I've been asked by the member for Kangema to welcome his school. In doing so, you can welcome all the others so that we go to other business.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I start to welcome the schools that have joined us in this parliament today. One thing I want to encourage them that this is a house that makes law for this country, and I want to assure them the best brain that you develop from their school, they can be able also to be part of this house. For Kehoya, I want to encourage them to continue doing better. That's the home for the business gurus in Nairobi. They do better in business, but also they can be able to perform even better in politics and also the economy of this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Engineer Kiragu, 1 minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I take also this opportunity to welcome students from Garariga Secondary School, Limuru, and Limuru Girls to Parliament. Thank you, Speaker, for setting aside the time for us to urge Professor Ngogi wa Thiong'o. This is a professor who knew these two schools very well, and he contributed a lot for them. Mine is to request the students to work hard, that there is space in this country for them to grow their careers and for them to be recognized by this society. Thank you.
Yes, the member wanted to recognize students from Kajiado. Go ahead. From Kajiado, from Machakos?
Machakos, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to welcome the students from Machakos, that is from Mavoko and Masinga, who have come to visit the Parliament. This is a house of debate. This is a house where we do legislation. This is a house where we legislate, we represent. This is where your parents send us, and we oversight. So you're welcome. There's many years ago, I visited the Parliament, and I was seated there, and now I am seated in here. So it is possible for you to be here.
Thank you. That's
Thank
enough.
you.
Member for Kajiado East.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the chance to also recognize and welcome our young students from Mashuru in Kajiado East constituency, Eselenge Supat. I'd like to welcome them and let them know that they are leaders for tomorrow. I'd like to encourage, this is a gold school. Then in our society, I am extremely very happy to see that many parents in Maasai communities are now sending girls to school. And this is a special school that I like to acknowledge it and welcome them and aspire them to do more, do better. Let the sky be the limit, because tomorrow they can be here too. One of them could be a member of parliament for Kajiado East constituency, and I like to encourage them to work hard and strive to do better and realize their dreams. Kwa hivyo karibuni sana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The last. And in future, when I ask one of you to welcome students on your behalf, you should obey that order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to welcome students from Kenekut Secondary School. As the county MP, I'm very happy and proud of them. And Honorable Speaker, I'm also happy to report that this is a school that is doing well. Students are disciplined, teachers are doing great. And as here, Honorable Speaker, I had one of the students I sponsored as a teen mother, and she's joining university. She's scored as C+, and she has 2 children out of marriage, and she decided to go back to school because of the program that I call it Usawa Kwa Wote. So I'm very proud of the school, and I'm proud of the girl child, and I pray that all students do well. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Well done. I hope you didn't break the marriage. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, May 29th, 2025. A, reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2023 and the certificates therein in respect of 1. Also, Olesos Training Institute, Kipsinende Training Institute, Rift Valley Training Institute, Tana River Technical and Vocational College, Bungoma North Technical and Vocational College, Bumbe Technical Training Institute, Lugari Diploma Teachers Training College, St. Augustine Teachers Training College, Eregi, St. Paul's Kiba B, Diploma Teachers Training College. And B, Honorable Speaker, reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2023 and 30th June 2024, and certificates therein in respect of the Maasai Mara Technical and Vocational College, Naivasha Technical and Vocational College, Siala Technical Training Institute, MSOS Technical and Vocational College, Kabusi Technical and Vocational College, Sikri Technical and Vocational College, Tigania East Technical and Vocational College, and lastly, Honorable Speaker, Tharaka Technical and Vocational College. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Chair, Departmental Committee on Social Protection, Alice.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the floor of the House today, Thursday, 29th May 2025. Report of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection on its consideration of 1. The Kenya Sign Language Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, and 2. The Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, Murugara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 29th May 2025. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs on its consideration of the following. Number 1, the President's Memorandum on the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023. Number 2, the President's Memorandum to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws, Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025. Number 3, the Elections Offences Amendment Bill number 2, Senate Bill number 28 of 2024. And number 4, the Political Parties Amendment number 2, Senate Bill number 26 of 2024. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next order. Yes, Honorable Junet.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to bring to your attention that before we went for the recess, you had given an indication that when we come back, there was this issue of the Supreme Court judgment on the operations of Parliament, on the bicameral Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to indulge
You are very right.
Yeah, when do you think you can? Because you remember there is also a bill, the County Assembly's pension bill, that originated from the Senate, and it was a money bill.
Yes.
And you stepped it down so that you can deal with that matter accordingly.
You are very right. The communication is ready.
Yes.
I'll deliver it either on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on the load of work.
Yes.
Yes.
Then lastly, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to bring to the attention of members on what the Chair of Justice and Legal Affairs has just tabled. The bills which have the memorandum of the President, the bill on money laundering, anti-money laundering, and the bill on conflict of interest. I want to ask members to take those.
I have a communication on it.
Thank you,
better
Mr.
hold
Speaker.
your horses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Sharia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. Yes. That aware that Article 95(2) of the Constitution provides that the National Assembly deliberates on and resolves issues of concern to the people. Further aware that the Higher Education Loans Board is mandated to provide financial support to Kenyans pursuing higher education through loans, bursaries, and scholarship, noting that students enrolled at the Kenya Medical Training College, currently totaling approximately 70,000 students, with 30,000 of these having joined the institution in 2024, concerned that 40% of KMTC student population require financial support similar to that offered to students in other public tertiary institutions such as technical training institutes in the country, but are excluded from receiving HELB support. Appreciating that education funding plays a vital role in enhancing access to education for Kenyans, hence boosting the economic growth of the country. This House therefore resolves that, 1, the government, through the Ministry of Education, facilitate the issuance of HELB loans to students at the Kenya Medical Training College, and 2, if no funds are appropriated for this exercise, approval is hereby granted for the National Treasury to release funds amounting to not less than Kenya shillings 1.5 billion to the Higher Education Loans Board, pursuant to Article 223 of the Constitution, for loans to KMTC students, and that such release be regularized through the third supplementary estimates 3 for the financial year 24-25. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Sharia. Yes, Junet.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to bring to your attention a matter that is also very, very important to this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's about how this Parliament operates. Mr. Speaker, there's a ruling that has happened today in relation to matter that is pending before the Justice and Legal Affairs Departmental Committee. Mr. Speaker, the tradition, the precedents, this is a house of procedure, traditions, and precedents. And this is something that has been pronounced upon by previous speakers. That, Mr. Speaker, a matter that is seized of by the House, especially when a matter has been committed to a committee of the House by the Speaker, because the committee of the House is a sitting of this plenary. Mr. Speaker, the courts have to wait until Parliament concludes the matter, and then after that, anybody who wants to go to court can go to court and litigate the matter there. But, Mr. Speaker, you cannot inject the House from doing their work. You cannot inject Parliament from doing their constitutional mandate, Mr. Speaker, under Article 95 and 96. Because even us, we cannot legislate on a matter that is before a court of law. We have to wait until the court concludes it is the matter in one way or the other. Then from there is when we can legislate. Even a petition, the Deputy Speaker is saying. So, Mr. Speaker, there is something that happened a week ago. And I think in your own wisdom, you were lenient a bit because I think you wanted some decorum as a head of one arm of government. But Mr. Speaker, Parliament will not take it anymore, going forward, lying down. Because if a bill is presented in Parliament and the bill goes through the first reading on the floor of the House and committed to a committee, anybody who has a problem with that bill must wait for the bill to go through the second reading, third reading, it goes for assent. Then after that, go to the court and declare it unconstitutional, the whole of it, section of it, clause, any clause that you are not happy with, if the court agrees with you. But if you want to inject Parliament before they do their work, then that means Parliament will not be able to operate in this country. So I'm happy that the judge has lifted the injunction today, but going forward, I'm giving judicial notice as a leader of this House that this House will not stop doing their work. In fact, if the ruling does not come out today, we are planning to sit tomorrow so that we can vet and finish our business. Then you can go to court and do whatever you want to do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Hold on. I don't want to open debate on this. What the minority leader is saying falls in sync with what the Honorable Otienda Amolo raised yesterday on the same matter. There is a ruling or a communication in the offing on the same matter so that we give a precedent-setting direction on the matter. But for avoidance of doubt, nobody, and I repeat, nobody, has the power under any law or under our Constitution to injunct Parliament from doing its work. Parliament is a constitutional body enjoined with authority to discharge constitutional functions. And once a matter is before Parliament and it is under consideration, whether it's in committee or in the plenary, the committees mirror the plenary. And the proceedings in committees are akin to proceedings in plenary. In future, and I think I have, for the information of the House, I have asked the Chief Justice to have some colloquium with some members of this House, including yours truly, so that we do not continue talking at each other as arms of government. We need each other, but we discourage and we frown at any overreach by any arm of government on the other arm, especially on matters that are legally clear, constitutionally clear, and morally untenable. So I direct the committee on JLAC to proceed without haste and vet the nominees for chairman and members of IEBC and bring the report to this House. Any aggrieved party, whether it's in the judiciary, in the executive, or general public, can then go to court and challenge something that we as Parliament will be funked as official. And let it be as clear as that. But there will be a precedent-setting communication next week on this matter that will guide us going to the future. Thank you. Honorable members, I want us to reorganize the order paper as follows. We'll skip order number 7 for now. We'll skip order number 8 for now. We'll go to order number 9, and the reasons majority, minority leaders, and members of House business, you are aware. So I'll give you communication and direction on how to proceed with order number 9. Then thereafter you go to committee, and after committee, then we come back to statements and go to conclude order number 8 and carry on with the rest of the order. So call out order number 9.
Order number 9, Committee of the Whole House.
Before we go to the committee, honorable members, take your seats. Dan Wanyama, take your seat. Honorable members, I have a communication on the consideration of the President's reservation on the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023 and the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill 2025. Honorable members, you recall that on Wednesday, 30th April 2025, I reported to this House a message from His Excellency the President notifying that in exercise of the powers conferred under Article 115(1)(b) of the Constitution, the President had referred the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023 and the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, back to Parliament for reconsideration. I did refer the memorandum containing the President's reservations to the two bills of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs for consideration. I also advised that the consideration of the President's reservations to the bills by the committee and indeed the whole House shall, insofar as necessary, be guided by the Speaker's communication of 28th July 2015 on the consideration and scope of the President's memorandum. Honorable members, the committee has since laid on the table of this House its report on the consideration of the President's memorandum to the two bills. With respect to the Anti-Money Laundering and the Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill 2025, the committee has recommended that the House concurs with the President's reservations to the bill, albeit with amendments. Article 115 of the Constitution empowers the House to propose amendments to the President's reservations, either fully accommodating them or not fully accommodating the reservations. Where proposed amendments fully accommodate the President's reservations, the amendments only require to be supported by a simple majority of the members of the National Assembly present and voting. Conversely, where such amendments do not fully accommodate the President's reservations, the amendments require to be supported by a 2/3 majority of members of the National Assembly to be carried. I have determined that the amendments proposed by the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs to the President's reservations to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill 2025 do not fully accommodate the President's reservations. In this case, the threshold must be realized for the amendment to be carried. Otherwise, the House will be deemed to have concurred with the President's reservations to the bill. In other words, if it's called to the vote, whoever wants to carry the amendment must garner a supermajority for the amendment to be carried. 2/3 of the House, not present and voting. 2/3 of the whole House, regardless of who is here, including Honorable Kuimburi, must be counted. Honorable members, regarding the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023, I am informed that the committee recommends that the House does not concur with the President's reservations to the bill. Conversely, for the House to uphold the recommendation of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs that the House does not concur with the President's reservations to the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023, the House shall be required to muster the support of at least 233 members. This is in keeping with the provisions of Article 115(4) of the Constitution, which requires that such a proposal be supported by at least 2/3 of the members of the National Assembly. If this threshold is not achieved, the House will be deemed to have concurred with the President's reservations to the bill. So, Honorable Murugara, if you want your proposals to be carried, you must have 233 members. For clarity, honorable members, the recommended text in respect to the President's reservations to the two bills has been published in the order paper for this sitting. I thank you. So as we go to committee, where the direction is on supermajority, Deputy Speaker, as you chair the committee, or whoever is chairing the committee, when you go to the vote, you go straight to a division because you need a supermajority. It is not a yes or a nay vote. Will you now be upstanding? Order, members, hold on, Sergeant. What is it, Wamboka? Sergeant, retreat. Take your
Honorable
seats,
Speaker,
members. What, on the same issue?
I will just seek your guidance.
Yes.
It looks like it's an ambush on us.
It is not.
Because what if we reorganize ourselves and put this matter to next week so that we organize ourselves with regard to numbers, especially on the conflict of interest thing? Because that, Honorable Speaker, affects us. So because you are part of this, you are MP number 1, I would beseech you that we were not prepared for this. You step down this, and I'm telling you we will hit 100% next week.
Order, Wamboka. As members of this House.
On standing order number 30.
Order, as members of this House, you must be like the good soldier Sheikh from Poland, who was 24 hours ready for combat, anytime, anywhere. And that's what you should be. This is not an ambush, because I told you that this matter was already ruled on by previous speakers in 2015. So it's not something new. So I encourage you to go into committee, and you'll be upstanding now.
Honorable members, we may be seated.
Somebody will go to court, don't worry. Somebody will go to court. No, for all of this, no corrupt. Itamaliza wabunge. Hii kitu itatumaliza.
Honorable members, I now call the House to order, and so we can begin. Clerk, you may call out.
President's reservation to clause 2.
Honorable members, we are dealing with the just hold on. Honorable members, we are dealing with the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2025. And we are considering the President's reservations.
President's recommendation to clause 2.
No, you said clause 2, it's clause 3. It's clause 2? Oh. I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 2 be considered. Mover? Majority Leader?
Thank you, Chair. I beg to move that the President's reservation in clause 2, as it is in the reservation memorandum and on the order paper, be adopted as it is. And Honorable Speaker, just to ease members' concerns, clause 2 included the definition of family and a relative. And initially the bill was very wide. If the
Let him
Honorable
complete. He hasn't completed moving. What
at
are you
least
going to have a
listen to
point
me.
of order about? Let him complete moving. Proceed.
I was explaining to Honorable Amboka that initially the bill had a very broad definition of family and relative. And in the President's definition, that has been restricted family to mean your spouse, dependent child, a parent, or spouse of a public officer. And relative has been restricted to just to mean a person who is related to a public officer by birth, marriage, adoption, or affinity. Before that, it went all the way to your great aunt, great uncle, first cousin, nephew, niece, husband, wife, grandfather, grandmother, grandson, granddaughter, father-in-law, mother-in-law, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, sister-in-law, all that. But all that now has been truncated in the President's memorandum, and therefore beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. There is no debate? We proceed. Honorable members, I put the question that clause 2 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. No, you should say the nays. Let's get to, we have not even begun. Okay, I declare that the ayes have it.
President's recommendation to clause 5.
Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, honestly, you're being unfair.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation to clause 5 be considered.
Point of order, Madam Chair. Point of order, Madam Chair. It is within my right to raise a point of order.
Procedurally, not.
Yeah,
Honorable Speaker, maybe just for Honorable Amboka to understand that when you want to raise a point of order, we have very good gadgets here that you put your card, request the Speaker, and do that, not shouting from your seat. It becomes very dishonorable when we go that way. Honorable Speaker, clause 5, I beg to move that we adopt clause 5 as it is on the order paper. Again, this relates to the administration of this act. And it's important for Honorable Amboka to listen. Because what I am saying is very important to you. It affects you and affects me and affects even judicial officers. Because this clause said the act was to be administered by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and the National Assembly and Senate had, in the mediated version, had adopted a version that would have this act being administered by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and by reporting authorities. Reporting authorities in this case would have been for you and for me, the Parliamentary Service Commission. And for judicial officers, it means that judicial officers would have reported to their reporting authority, which would have been the Judicial Service Commission. And that is a practice as it has been. But now the Act proposes, and the President's memorandum proposes, that now the entire Act shall only be administered by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Therefore, our judicial officers now have to submit their declaration of wealth to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And the same with you. This is to enhance transparency and accountability and help in the fight against corruption, Honorable Speaker. And it is very important, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, judicial officers must now take note. All judicial officers, from magistrates to officers working in the judiciary, all the way up to the Chief Justice, they now report to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission on matters relating to conflict of interest. That is very important, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 5 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Yes, Honorable Jeanette.
Madam Speaker, I wish to reiterate what the majority leader said, that members need to take note that both members of parliament or the legislative arm of the country and the judiciary will be reporting to Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Madam Speaker, this is a very serious policy change. This thing is going to put many people in jail, the way I see it, because the corrupt. Because, why do I say so? Madam Speaker, there is no due process, the way I see. Because before you report to Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, you should report first to the bodies, the constitutional bodies that manage those institutions. That's why GSC is in place. That is why Parliamentary Service Commission is in place. So, Madam Speaker, this memorandum is trying to propose that the constitutional powers of those organs created by the Constitution itself are usurped now by Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Another commission, just like Judiciary Service Commission and just like Public Service Commission. Me, I am passing this bill here. But this one, I am telling the judiciary, they are under attack. They must suspend this one once it is sent to Paramoja.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 6 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 6.
The next majority leader. Go to clause number 8.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 6 be amended for as is on the order paper. Again, Honorable Speaker, this relates to just functions of the Commission, and in this reference, again, is the EACC Commission. And I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 6, that the President's recommendations as, no, Honorable members, let me repeat that. I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 6 be considered. Mover? Leader, majority leader, yes? Oh, he's moved it. Okay. All right. There is no debate? Okay. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 6 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 6 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 8.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 8 be considered. Mover?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 8 be amended as it is on the order paper and as per the President's reservations. And Honorable Speaker, this relates to instances where a public officer may be construed or may be seen to be in conflict of interest. And in the mediated version, we had removed part C, which says that the public officer has a public officer will be in conflict of interest if that public officer has private interest that could conflict with the duties of the public officer in future. And Honorable Speaker, the President has reinstated that particular section, and I beg to move.
Honourable members, I propose the question that Clause 8 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. May I put the question? Okay, Honourable Murugara.
Thank you. Throw him out. It's gross disorder. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Honourable Wanami, please be orderly. 12.
Yes. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Murugara.
Honorable Speaker, the reservation which has actually been brought to us may be valid to some extent, but we should note that it applies to duties that the public officer may actually have in the future. Again, this is for everybody to note, and it's subject to debate, which debate we are doing now. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Honourable members, yes, Honourable Jeanette.
I also want to add my voice to it. Madam Speaker, I don't know how we are legislating for the future. That if someone is going to have a conflict of interest in the future, Madam Speaker, I don't think this clause has any meaning other than making things more difficult. Because if you say, if a member, and in the mediation report, it was removed. Now we are saying in the future, if somebody is going to have a conflict of interest, how will you know whether he's going to have a conflict in the future or not? You are not God. How will you know? Madam Speaker, this one, we disagree, but it is a present memorandum.
So are you calling for a division? Honourable members, I now put the question that Clause 8 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to Clause 12.
Honourable members, I propose the question that the President's recommendations to Clause 12 be considered. Mover.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that Clause 12 be adopted as proposed by the President in his reservations and as it is on the order paper. Honourable Speaker, again, Clause 12 had a proviso under Clause 3, which was introduced in the mediated version, which says that despite subsection 1, no proceeding shall lie against a public officer who grants special consideration or treatment or advantage in good faith. That, again, Honourable Speaker, the President's reservation are to remove that particular clause. And that, Honourable Speaker, is the issue we had raised during debate, that should you extend a favor to somebody on account of maybe age? People are queuing at the airport, there's a very elderly person, and on account of their age, a public officer allows them to jump the queue. That cannot constitute conflict of interest, whether or not they know that person. But in the President's wisdom, he thinks we should not have that, and therefore that has been deleted. I beg to move.
Honourable members, I propose the question that Clause 12 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. May I put the question? Honourable members, I now put the question that Clause 12 be amended as recommended by the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to Clause 16.
Honourable members, I propose the question that the President's recommendations to Clause 16 be considered. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 16 be amended as proposed by the President in his memorandum of reservations and as it is on the order paper. Again, Honorable Speaker, this relates to clause 3A. It says where a public officer has knowledge that a family member or a relative has accepted a gift or favor under subsection 1, the public officer shall within 48 hours of such knowledge, or if not on duty within 48 hours of resumption of duty, make a declaration of the acceptance, giving sufficient details of the nature of the gift or favor accepted, the donor, and the circumstances under which it was accepted for purposes of assessment of potential conflict of interest. Again, Honorable Speaker, the House, in our wisdom, we had created this proviso because I may not know. For instance, Mzee Ishongwa in Kikuyu now might be receiving a goat from a neighbor. And if I do not go to my father's house today or tomorrow within 48 hours, my father is my relative. I could be construed to be in conflict of interest because my father or a relative received a gift and may be construed to be on my behalf, and I don't report it within 48 hours. But again, as I have said, and many of us, including our judicial officers, Honorable Speaker, work in places away from many of our relatives. Your relatives in the village may receive gifts and probably receive a gift when you're a judge or a magistrate. You must be very careful, especially if you're a judge, that if your grandfather in the village receives a gift from somebody who has a matter before you or a matter in court, it may be construed to be conflict of interest. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, that is what the House had sought to clarify. But again, in the wisdom of EACC and the President, they think we should bring that back. And therefore, you will be now contravening this section and you will be committing an offense if you do not make that declaration. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as recommended by the President. Yes, Honorable Junet.
Madam Speaker, it must go on record that we oppose this memorandum. Madam Speaker, considering these two clauses, the last one that just passed and this one, you can see this bill is not a Kenyan bill, honestly, because it's an affront to all African cultures and values, saying that if your relative who is living far away from where you stay receives a bag of bananas from another person as a gift, or a bag of cassava, and you don't declare, then you have a conflict of interest case to answer. If you do a favor to an elderly person in a queue, in good faith, then there's a conflict of interest. Madam Chair, you can see this bill and clauses are alien to our country. Whichever intentions it wants to achieve, let's pray to God that it might not. I can see Owen Bayer in jail, the way he's sitting next to me. I can just see.
I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 16 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President, reservation to clause 17.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 17 be considered. Chair, Leader of Majority, mover.
This is 18.
17.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 17 be amended as it is on the order paper and as the President's reservations. Again, the reservations, Honorable Speaker, related to the reporting authorities maintaining a register of gifts received. We had said gifts received by public officers serving in the reporting entity. Now the President's reservations have added the word any person, that it is gifts received by any person serving in the reporting entity, not just public officers. Even if you are not a public officer and you are serving in the reporting entity, you must declare those gifts. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 17 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I put, yes, Honorable Murugara.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairperson. It's good that we make a comment on this, and exactly that's what it says. A register will be maintained of all persons that receive gifts, including when the judge comes to visit my court, and sometimes they come with their old ladies, their mothers, because sometimes it's nice to carry an old lady to show her the rest of the country, and I gift her with a chicken. If the judge forgets to declare that chicken, he will have committed an offense and he will be liable to prosecution. And it's not just the judge, it's any person, any public officer who fails to make the declaration. But this is a reservation. It's a reservation, and we just have to go by it.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 17 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 18.
I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 18 be considered. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 18 be amended as provided for on the order paper and as per the President's reservations. This relates again to gifts, Honorable Speaker, and 18 had said a public officer member of the officer's family or relative of the public officer shall not accept any complimentary treatment for any purpose unless the complimentary treatment offered is required in his official capacity or in exceptional capacities. And 2A was giving provisos on that, Honorable Speaker, and that is what the President has reinstated. And I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 18 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Yes, Honorable Sankuli.
Sorry, I can't get the mic. Yeah, Madam Speaker, as the Honorable Jeanette, the minority leader, has said, actually, in real sense, in spirit and in all else, we actually do not find these reservations to be justified. You know, when this thing talks about relative, the definition of relative is so large. It is not a registrable interest. I don't even know some of the people, I don't even know who my great nephews are. They have enlarged it so much that it's the whole world that you're going to be responsible for. I think myself that there must be a way, and if this House passes it, maybe we have to go to pray that it does not actually become the law of this country.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 18 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 20.
I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 20 be considered. Majority Leader, mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the President's reservations, as per the memoranda and as stipulated on the order paper, be approved. Honorable Speaker, again, this relates to acquiring of interest. Members, you remember what we were discussing in debate on whether a public officer shall, or rather, it's stipulated that a public officer shall not acquire an interest in a partnership, private company, or any other legal entity that is a party to a contract with any reporting entity under which the partnership, private company, or legal entity receives a benefit. Again, Honorable Speaker, that related to reporting entities since, as I said, PSC, JSC, ESCC, and we had sought to restrict it to only your reporting entity, but it has been restated to mean any reporting entity. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now put the question. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 20 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Yes, Honorable Murugara.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Again, another interesting proposal here, in that everybody, public officers, including judges and everybody else, must know that you cannot buy shares in a bank where the JSE is actually banking, because it has a contract of banking, and you cannot buy shares in that one or any other. This is what is being prohibited, and now that it's being reinstated as a presidential reservation, we will pass it, but it's good to note what our reservations were and why the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee rejected those reservations.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 20 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 30.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 30 be considered. Majority Leader?
30. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 30 be amended as provided for in the President's reservations, Memorandum of Reservations, and as it is on the order paper. This is deletion of subsection 2, where we had removed that this subsection shall not apply to a member of parliament or a county assembly. Now it applies, since that is being deleted. Beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 30 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 30 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President's reservation to clause 31.
I propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 31 be considered. Mover?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that clause 31 be amended as per the President's Memorandum of Reservations and as stipulated on the order paper. Again, Honorable Speaker, this relates to... Sorry. I think it relates to declarations, and there was 4 that we had deleted, which has been restated that for purposes of this section, material change means at least 25% increase or decrease in the value of an income, asset, or ability, the disposal or acquisition of an asset or ability, changes in marital status, appointment to or changes in directorships, changes in memberships in companies and partnerships and other legal entities, however established, or changes in the membership in social associations, societies, clubs, foundations, or trusts. We had deleted that particular provision in the mediated version, Honorable Speaker, and was there in the original bill, and it has been reinstated. And of course, we had very good reasons of removing that on what we are supposed as public officers, or rather what public officers must submit to the Commission in their declaration of assets and liabilities. But that has now been restated, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Thank you. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 31 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 31 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
President reservation to clause 35.
I propose the question that the President's recommendation to clause 35 be considered. Mover?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that clause 35 be amended as provided for in the order paper and as per the President's Memorandum of Reservations. Again, Honorable Speaker, this related to clause 33C, 1C, which we had removed, and it's been reinstated, just stating its completeness and correctness. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 35 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 35 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Say, Honorable mover of this bill.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservations to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, up to clause 35 and its approval.
Just read as set out.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, the clerk had given me the wrong one. Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservations to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservation to the House, reservation to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and its approval thereof without amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. We'll now move to the next one, which is consideration of the President's reservations to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025.
President's reservation to clause 3.
I now propose the question that the President's recommendations to clause 3 be considered. Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move, Honorable Speaker, that the President's reservations to clause 3, subsection 2, be amended as provided for on the order paper and as per the President's memorandum of reservations. This, Honorable Speaker, related to the transitional clause relating to the Financial Reporting Center, where we had created a transitional mechanism that would have extended the term of the current Director General by a further 2 years, and the President has expressed his reservations to that in line with the Mwongozo policy, and recommends that the existing office holder appointed under Section 25 will continue to serve in office to complete their tenure under the provisions applicable at the time of the appointment. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 3 be amended as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 3 be amended as recommended by the President. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I was laughing at the Honorable Murugara because he has naturally dropped his amendment by the fact that he could not mobilize 2/3. Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservation to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and its approval thereof without amendments.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the President's reservation to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism and Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and its approval thereof without amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many out of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered
Chair, let me invite you again. I was
Thank you.
not on record.
Thank you.
Chairperson, please proceed.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the President's reservation to the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023, and approved the same without amendments.
Move out the bill, the Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Dorothy to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Dorothy, please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I do second the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Let me put the question. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, we move to the next bill. Move. Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole or the representative.
It is now Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the President's reservations to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and approved the same without amendments.
Move out the bill, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request the Honorable Phyllis Bartow, Professor, to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. Honorable members, I propose the question. May I please have a seconder?
Madam Speaker, I second.
Thank you very much, Professor. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, I defer putting of the question. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Majority Leader, I see you are on your feet.
I don't think there are questions, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, after dropping some of the questions, what we have is responses to statements. So, Majority Leader, you may proceed with your...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the House Business Committee, and pursuant to the provision of Standing Orders 44.2a, I rise to give the following statement on prioritization of business for consideration during the week. Honorable Speaker, I wish to officially welcome back members from the short recess I hope we have all come back invigorated, in readiness to perform our roles in what promises to be a very busy part of the fourth session. I further urge committees with priority business pending before them to expedite consideration and submission of reports to the House so as to enable the conclusion by the House within the set timelines. Honorable Speaker, with regards to business scheduled for Tuesday next week, the House is expected to consider in second reading the Learners with Disabilities Bill, Senate Bill number 4 of 2023, and the National Cohesion and Integration Bill, National Assembly Bill number 74 of 2023, should they not be concluded today. Additionally, Honorable Speaker, debate will be undertaken on the following motions should they not be concluded in the course of business today. One is consideration of sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy. 2 is consideration of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between the Republic of Kenya and the United Arab Emirates. And 3 is report on the ratification of the Agreement on Fisheries Subsidies. Honorable Speaker, as members will recall, you issued a communication on the priority business that will come before the House during this part of the session, notably relating to the budget process. As such, members will note that the general debate on the budget estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2025-2026 will be prioritized once the Budget and Appropriations Committee tables its report. And Honorable Speaker, I can report they have been very busy this week in their retreat finalizing on this. This will be followed by prioritization of other budget-related business, including the Committee of Supply on the estimates, the Finance Bill 2025, and the Appropriation Bill 2025. I therefore wish to urge members to be available in the House and committees and to actively participate when this important time-bound business is brought before the House for consideration. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A5 and 6, I wish to convey that the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport is scheduled to appear before the House on the afternoon of Wednesday, 4th June 2025, to respond to the following questions. Question number 013 of 2025 by the member for Vihiga County, the Honorable Beatrice Adagara MP, regarding the status of construction of the Shamahoho Gitambai Road. 2, question number 014 of 2025 by the member for Ruiru, the Honorable Simon Kingara MP, regarding the processing of the smart driving licenses in the country. 3 is question number 015 of 2025 by the member for Teso South, the Honorable Mary Emase MP, regarding the rehabilitation and maintenance of the Busia Malaba Road. 4 is question number 053 of 2025 by the member for Moiben, the Honorable Professor Phyllis Barto MP, regarding the commencement of construction works on the Tachasis, Chebiemit, Ainet, Chebarus, and Riadha roads. 5 is question number 054 of 2025 by the member for Kinango, the Honorable Gonzi Rai MP, regarding the current condition of Kinango Mariakani Road, C107, and the impact of the recent rains on its deterioration. And finally is question number 057 of 2025 by the member for Naivasha, the Honorable Jane Kihara, regarding compensation of landowners for land acquired by the Kenya Railways Corporation for the construction of the standard gauge railway and the metric gauge railway. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, 3rd June 2025 to schedule business for the rest of the week. I now wish to lay this statement on the House, and thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. Honorable members, before we proceed, I would like to welcome the following guests. In the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, we have Kanywa Mbora Boys High School, Mbere North Constituency in Embu County, Kajiado SDA School from Kajiado Central, Kajiado County. Also in the public gallery, honorable members, we have Limuru Girls School from Limuru constituency, Kiambu County. Honorable members, let us welcome them our usual way. We also have in the public gallery this afternoon, Mara Christian High School from Narok West, constituency Narok County, Dururumo High School, Laikipia West, constituency Laikipia County, and Mount Kenya Academy, Nyeri Town, constituency in Nyeri County. And on behalf of all those students, I would like to ask our nominated member of UDA, kindly proceed to welcome our students in the house.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, may I take this opportunity to welcome all the learners and their teachers, both in the public gallery and in the Speaker's gallery, to the House of Parliament. I want to encourage them that today is a learning process for them. Tomorrow they'll have an opportunity to serve in this house. Feel encouraged, go back to your institutions, work very hard. I have heard the schools being mentioned, and I have no doubt in my mind that you will produce in future very good debaters, excellent legislators to come and be in this house. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Learners and teachers feel welcome to the House of Parliament.
Thank you very much. I would like to give a chance also to the Honorable Badi Twalib from Mombasa County to welcome our students.
Asante sana, Mheshimiwa Spika. Nataka kuwakaribisha wanafunzi wote wa kutoka Narok, kutoka kule Nyeri pia, lakini nataka kusema kwa wawe na moyo wa kuamini kama kila kitu inawezekana. Sisi pia tulitoka hapo hapo tukitamani, lakini leo ni viongozi. Kwa hivyo pia wao naambia wasome kwa bidii, na wao pia wanaweza siku moja kuwa majority leaders kama Kimani Chungwa, na vile vile kuserve katika parliament hii mara 3 kama Mheshimiwa Badi Twalib. Thank you very much. Asante.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Badi Twalib kutoka Mombasa. The Honorable Majority Leader would like you to welcome these students.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me also to welcome the students from Mara Christian School in Narok West, Durumo High School in Laikipia West, and Mount Kenya Academy in Nyeri. And at least, Honorable Speaker, I couldn't fail to notice that all the students look extremely smart, and we welcome them to the National Assembly, where we sit to represent them, their parents, and all other Kenyans, oversight the government of the Republic of Kenya, and legislate on their behalf. And those who are here earlier did witness the legislative making process when we were in committee of the whole House on the 2 bills that we have considered with the President's reservations. Honorable Speaker, Mount Kenya Academy in Nyeri is one of the best performing schools around the central Kenya region, and which I know very many young people who have attended that school, even from my own constituency, and to encourage all these students to work hard, be disciplined, as we said yesterday during the prayer breakfast, that we encourage them as our children to continue being obedient, being disciplined students and young people in our country. They are indeed the future of our country, and we want to trust in God that they will grow up to be very responsible citizens of our country, whom we can vest the future of our country into, Honorable Speaker, and I welcome them to the National Assembly.
Thank you very much, Honorable Members. Thank you, Majority Leader. Honorable Members, we also have in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon students from Kiboron Girls High School in Rongai constituency, Nakuru County, and students from Ganaria Girls High School from Limuru constituency in Kiambu County. On behalf of the substantive Speaker, on my own behalf, and on the behalf of the House, we welcome all of you to the House of Parliament. Honorable members, now we will proceed to responses, and I can see that the chair is seated in his place. So now I call upon. What is out of order, Majority Leader?
Honorable Speaker, really nothing out of order. I just wanted to seek your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, for the convenience of the House again, that one, the order listed as order number 11, the chair of the committee, the Honorable Murugara, who is here, had requested that we adjourn this debate on this particular bill to next week to allow his committee to finalize work that they are doing on that bill. And having consulted him, we've agreed that we can adjourn debate on that order number 11 on the Political Parties Amendment Bill to allow Honorable Murugara's jailer committee to conclude the work that they are doing. And he's among the committees I was referring to in my statement that have reports pending. And he has promised that by the mid next week, that report will be ready so to allow the House to proceed. Two, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to request, again with your indulgence, that the order listed as order number 10 and 12 be reordered so that we begin with order number 12 on consideration of the sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy, since the chair of the Blue Economy Committee, the very committed Honorable Kangogo Bowen, you see he has come from very far. I know where he was, and he came running to be able to move this report. So we allow him to move that report, then we can proceed to the others. Order number 8 and 10, since we had already expended order number 9. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. Chair. Chair, would you like to make a comment? Because I would like to make a ruling on this one. Chairman, Honorable Member for Tharaka, Chairperson.
In respect of order number 11, I confirm that is the position. Kindly let it be stood down to next week. We will be ready with other reports that members will have read, and we'll be able to debate the proposed amendments to the Act. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable members, I would like to assent to the request that has been made by the Majority Leader. Honorable members, in regard to that, after order number 7, now we will go straight to order number 12. Thank you, honorable members.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, before we go to the Honorable Kagogo, we'd like to go to statements. Honorable Tongoyo, please proceed. You can start with the first one. You have actually a long list.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's true to what you said. I'm here ready with about 3 or so responses or statements. But I can only, Honorable Speaker, I need your guidance because I'm only seeing one member, a member for Kilgoris in the House. So maybe he can able to respond to his and probably the rest when the members are in the House.
That we focus on responses for the members who are in the House. And in that case, for your 4 statements, the member who is in the House is the Honorable Julius Sunkuli, member for Kilgoris. So you may proceed.
Madam Speaker, I think this is a House of Records, and Madam Speaker, even getting from the last Parliament, if a member asks a question, Honorable Speaker, and in a case where that member is not present in the House at a time of response, I think previously, Honorable Speaker, the chair of a committee only needs to table the response, and it's upon the member, Honorable Speaker, who asked that question to get the written response. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, you will have members asking questions during the time of response. They are not there. And then again, chairs are told again to repeat themselves. And come next week, they are not there. I want your ruling, Honorable Speaker, that where there is where the member, I'm not referring to you, Honorable Sunguli. I'm referring to honorable members who are not here, but they have asked questions. Madam Speaker, even I have one. And if you allow us, those members who are not there, we just table the answers before you.
Honorable members, we will proceed this way. For the member who is in the House, for example, the first question which is being responded to, which was raised by the Honorable Julius Sunkuli, he's in the House, so that one will be presented. For the members who are not here, so that we do not lose time for Parliament, I would like to order that the chairperson tables on record. Thank you. So please proceed, Chairperson. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, in regards to your guidance, of course, I will have the two, which I will table. One for record. Before I respond to the Sunguli, I've got a response from the Honorable Member for Kisii County, Honorable Doris Donya, regarding the tragic death of Sylvia Kemunto and the escalating cases of gender-based violence. As you guided, once I'm done, I will table on the table. Also, Madam Speaker, also with me here, I've got a response from the Member of Parliament for Mogotio constituency, Honorable Ruben Kiborek. I just want to show that I don't, yes?
Just take your seat for a minute. Honorable members, the Honorable Doris Donya had written to the Speaker, and she had requested that this be deferred. And I would like to respect the fact that the Speaker granted that. So kindly defer the one for the Honorable Doris Donya, member for Kisii. And for the purpose of order, you may start with the one for the Honorable Julius Sunkuli, who is already here. Then we can proceed downwards.
So, well guided, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to respond as follows. The question from the Honorable Member for Kilgoris, Honorable Julius Sunkuli, who had sought in particular a statement regarding the land clashes in Angata Barikoi. And in particular, the Member of Parliament wanted a report on who authorized police officers to use live ammunition against the citizens. Why did the land registrar and the surveyors go to the survey the land belonging to the people of Angata Barikoi without their consent? And thirdly, why did the ministry retain police officers in Logorian station beyond their useful period? And are they serving special interest? And what interest is this being served? In first response, Honorable Speaker, the government regrets the event that happened in Narok County and wishes to condole with the families that lost their loved one during the unfortunate skirmishes on the 28th April. We pray for a quick recovery for the injured. The parcel of land known as Transmara Moyoi 2, located in Transmara South, has been the subject of protracted dispute, both within the courts and through the informal channels, and the land is in question, measuring approximately 6,325 acres. The ownership of land was formally registered under the Angata Cooperative Society following an adjudication process that commenced in 1976. However, 88 land titles arising from a subsequent adjudication process in 1986 were found to overlap with a portion of Moyoi 2. This overlap sparked a series of legal disputes which escalated to the Court of Appeal. The matter was eventually withdrawn from court and resolved amicably through the mutual consent among the litigants. This resolution is documented in a Court of Appeal ruling dated the 24th October 2024. According to the ruling, approximately 1,500 acres were allocated to the Kipsix community, comprising about 624 individuals, while the remaining portion, 4,825 acres, was retained by Angata Cooperative Society, with the comprising of the members of the Maasai Syria community. The settlement marked a significant milestone in addressing the long-standing tension in the area, paving the way for the peace, hope, and lasting tranquility. The same Court of Appeal ruling directed the registrar and the county surveyor to implement the terms of consent within the 30 days. On the 28th, that is a beautiful day, during a planned demarcation of the land in question, a confrontation ensued between members of the public, land officers, and the police. In the process, 5 lives were unfortunately lost. Several people, including police and land officers, were injured, and 6 vehicles torched. On the use of lethal and non-lethal force, police officers are guided by national laws, National Police Service standing orders, and international human rights standards. Generally, the use of force is expected to be proportional to the threat posed, necessary under the circumstances, accountable under the law. No individual or institution explicitly authorized the use of live ammunition against an armed citizen. However, officers are trained and empowered to assess the situation and respond appropriately in real time. Live ammunition is regarded as a last resort, only to be used when an officer or another individual faces an imminent threat to life or serious injury, when non-lethal options have failed or are deemed insufficient to neutralize a lethal threat. The IPOA is currently investigating the incident, and any police officer found culpable will be dealt with according to the law. As the investigation gets underway, we have taken administrative measures and redeployed all police officers in sub-county, including sub-county police commander, the sub-county criminal investigation officer, and the OCS. We also transferred the deputy county commissioner. On the second, I'm still, protect me, Honorable Speaker, I'm still reading. You will have your time, Honorable Ngano. Why did the land, on the issue of why the land registrar go to survey the land, Honorable Speaker, based on the 24th, on the Court of Appeal, ruling the land demarcation.
What is out of order?
Madam Speaker, I think the chair, I'm sorry to interrupt, ma'am. I think the chair is misleading this house by stating that the DCC has been transferred and the DCC is still working there.
Chair, please, you have been in this house together with me
Yes,
from
I have
the year
been, but you see, I
2013.
cannot.
And
Madam
I
Speaker.
have a lot of respect for you. I know this matter is extremely emotional, but I would like to ask you to take your seat until the chairperson finishing responding not to yourself, but to the Honorable Member for Kilgoris, who is attentively listening. After that, we will give you an opportunity as one of the community leaders to make your comments. So as emotional as it might be, please keep your cool until the chair finishes. It's not upon you to tell us. It is the member who asked, but you'll have your time. You will have your chance, I promise you. Please proceed, Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Because Honorable Ngeno is a high-ranking member in this House and he knows the rules and the procedures, I think just fair he allows me finish. Definitely you'll have the time to ask the necessary questions. Honorable Speaker, I was on the second question on why the land registrar and surveyors go to the land. Based on the 24th October Court of Appeal ruling, the land demarcation activities scheduled to take place on the 28th by the government officials were lawful, legitimate, and grounded in due process. On the last part, on why the ministry retained the police officers in Ngata Logorian beyond their useful period, Honorable Speaker, no officer has been retained in the Logorian police station beyond their designated or useful period. All officers posted at Logorian police station had served for less than 3 years. All transfers and postings have been carried out in restricted adherence to the stipulated National Police Service, human resource policies, and guidelines. Regular staff transfers are maintained to promote efficiency, minimize complacency, and ensure that officers gain diverse experience in different operational environments. Additionally, periodic reviews are conducted to assess the duration of service in each station, and necessary actions are taken promptly to avoid overstays. The current staffing situation reflects a well-structured rotation system aligned with institutional objectives and public service best practices. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, we request members of the public to remain calm and maintain law and order, and encourage the parties involved to resolve this dispute amicably. I submit and signed by Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, EGH, Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, on the 30th April 2025. Honorable Speaker, kindly, before maybe the member react to the statement, just want to remind the House, one, this question was slated to be responded to about 2 or so weeks ago, but the member was out of the country, and he did request that it waits until he's back. Also, Honorable Speaker, if you see from the response, the letter was signed on the 30th April. That is almost a whole month difference. Ever since, there is a lot that has taken place. There's a lot of water that has gone under the bridge. And I'm sure when the member will get the opportunity to contribute to this, he can be able to attest that already as we talk, there is a lot of negotiation and mediation that are underway. One actually being spearheaded by him and my good friend here, Honorable Ngeno, to look a lasting solution into this problem. Also, Honorable Speaker, it's on record, and you remember the committee that I chair on administration and internal security, couples of months ago did visit that Rangatabarikoi because of the same problem. And the report is ready even for tabling on this House. And even then, we were lucky to get even the car that we did deliver to the police to enable them respond to the distress call and able to execute their mandate. So that is the response. I don't want to preempt the issue of the DCC being transferred or not, but I want to confirm that as much as I'm concerned, the DCC had got a letter of transfer. The only hinge was the DDC, who was supposed to report, probably was going to leave, and maybe it was the issue of handing over, which we all know. This guy is a member of parliament for Kilgoris. Despite that being his member of parliament, he was a very senior civil servant before, and even here. So maybe the issue of handing over. That's what I want to state.
Chair, I think you've done
Yes,
justice.
thank you so much.
So I don't want you to go beyond that, because we'll give a chance to the Honorable Johanna Ngeno, but I would like to give a chance to the Honorable Julius Sunkuli to tell us whether this is satisfactory or not. Please proceed.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the chairman for the statement that he has made. But before I make a comment, another comment, I would like to thank many members of this House, beginning from my own colleague, other colleague we are from Transmara, Honorable Ngeno, the majority leader of the Senate and other members who came to condole with us when the people of Vangata Barikoi lost their 5 persons. I also want to thank members of the government who came to help us to condole, to say sorry to those who lost their lives. Madam Speaker, this thing has 2 portions. The first portion is about the land, and the other one is about security. And I must say, when the comments that have been made by the chairman on matters on security, on land, are somehow correct. Actually, let me not delve into the land issues, because there is a process that we have initiated, and the government is involved in it, and we are all involved in it, to ensure that whatever disputes in land that arose from the land have been resolved. The elders from the Kipsigis community, we have met them. Government has met them. The elders from the Maasai community, we have met them, and the government has met them, and we believe that there is going to be a lasting solution on this. But, Madam Speaker, The reason why I asked this question and directed it to the chairman for security is because there were security issues. And I want to ask the chairman a few questions on security. First of all, Mr. Chairman, how can you say that there was need to use live bullets?
I'll stop you briefly. Honorable members, it is extremely important for students to get recognized. And when they come and we continue and they walk out before we recognize them, it is not in order. So I would like to welcome students. Seated in the speakers gallery this afternoon, we have students from Kirobon Girls High School, Rongai constituency, Nakuru County, and from Ganaria Girls High School, from Limuru constituency, Kiambu County. You're welcome to the National Assembly. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So the chairman has said in response that police officers can use commensurate force. How did it become necessary to use guns? Did these people have guns? How did they become targets of bullets? Yet they were either armed in a lesser manner, or at least they were not armed with guns. That is not commensurate effort. And the chairman must go back and ask the minister to explain that thing. The second thing, Madam Speaker, which the chairman should tell us about this thing. Somebody must have given instructions for people to be shot dead. Somebody must have done so. And if nobody did so, is the chairman telling us today that we will never know who actually shot these people? Because our concern is we want to know who shot these people. If we know that, then criminal activities, criminal action should be taken to apprehend them. And if these people have been transferred, the police officers, can we be told where they have gone so that we can tell the people of those areas to be alert that those people are actually killers? Madam Speaker, I would like to invite, if you, with your permission, to invite the chairman to look you in the eye, and confirm that Mr. Jubat, the DCC of Lolgorian or Kilgoria or Transmara South, has actually left that station. And if it is true that he was transferred, can you stand and proclaim the name of the DCC who was transferred to Lolgorian to take over from him? That it is only the handing over that is waiting. Who is he supposed to hand over to? What is the name? And can he confirm that the DCC was chairing a land control board meeting just the other day? Mr. Chairman, this is giving us a serious issue because we know your integrity, but you have been made to read a statement which is not true. Those officers are well seated there, and we don't understand. We don't hate them. I personally have nothing against it. But how can a whole government stand up and say that the DCC has been transferred, knowing very well that he has not been transferred? Just tell us he's not been transferred and we will live our lives as usual. And lastly, Madam Speaker, I know that IPOA has been told to go there. And does the chairman know?
David Bowen, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if it is true.
What exactly is out of order?
Yes, the statement by the Honorable Chair. If it is true that the Honorable Chair read that the DCC was transferred and these two honorable members are confirming that the DCC is still there, Madam Chair, I think, Madam Chair, it is good that you rule that the chairman is out of order and order the Honorable CS to appear himself here because he's reading the statement on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary. Because as I heard from him, that statement was written and signed by the CS. So that now we confirm the true position. Otherwise, the two honorable members are just speaking to each other, Honorable Speaker, and we are not going anywhere.
In mind that the person or the honorable member who asked this question had not completed his questions, and his questions are very clear. I think, Honorable Kagogo, you are raising on Standing Order number 91 on responsibility for statement of fact. And from where I sit, I do not know who will take responsibility for the statement of fact, bearing in mind that the chair is reading a statement from the cabinet secretary. But I'm going to take into consideration what you have said. I believe the chair will also respond to that. Please conclude so that we give a chance to the Honorable Johanna Ngeno.
Actually, in conclusion, not in conclusion, the last point that the last question I'm asking, how effective will IPOA be? Is the chairman aware that the police officers have been told not to cooperate with IPOA? Is there another channel that the chairman is going to use in order to bring these facts to be known? Otherwise, Madam Chair, I do not want to open the other wounds because the land issues are being resolved. We want the security issues to be resolved so that the people of Angata Barikoi can stay in peace. And if possible, Mr. Chairman, please bring back the GSU who went.
Give a chance to the Honorable Johanna Ngeno so that you can put the questions together.
Asante, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, kwa hii nafasi. Nataka niseme tu kwa usuni kwamba sisi kama viongozi, kama wajumbe, tuna jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba sheria ambayo tunaipitisha kwa hii nyumba inaidhinishwa na inapitishwa na inatumika vizuri. Pia wakati tumeteuliwa kama machairman ya makomiti, na tunajua ya kwamba mawaziri imekuwa ni jambo la ugumu kuletwa hapa. Hata wakiletwa hapa wanaletwa kwa masuala zingine. Inabidi pia kama machairman wakati tunaenda kuiuliza hawa, nazi pia tufanye upelelezi wetu, ndio tukikuja tujibu maneno ambayo tunajua inastahili kujibiwa kwa hii nyumba. Nasema hivyo, Madam Speaker, kwa sababu watu walikufa, watu waliuawa, na sio ile kuuawa ile labda saa zingine unapiga mtu mguu risasi alafu anavuja damu mpaka akufe, ama amepigwa kwa tumbo ndio baadaye labda aende akufe kwa hospitali. Watu 5 waliuawa na 4 walipigwa risasi kwa kichwa. Kumanishwa kwamba kulikuwa na amri ya kushoot to kill. Piga risasi ya kuua, sio ya kuumiza, sio ya kudemobilize, piga risasi kuua. Kwa hivyo anga mimi sikuwa mwenye aliuliza hiyo swala, Madam Speaker, but ordinarily swali kiulizwa kwa hii nyumba inakuwa property ya hii nyumba. Kwa hivyo kila mjumbe anastahili kuongelelea na kuulizia kama hiyo swala imejibiwa vizuri. Jambo yenye ninaamini ya kwamba Mheshimiwa Julius Nguli ambaye ni jirani yetu mwema alitaka kujua sana, ni sio sana mambo ya ardhi, kwa sababu mambo ya ardhi ingeulizwa kamati yenye inahusika na ardhi. Hii swala iliulizwa kamati ambayo inahusika na usalama wa nchi ya Kenya. Yale maneno yote ambayo tungepewa hapa ni kuhusu wale watu 5 waliuawa. Kama idara ya usalama imechunguza mpaka iko na postmortem ya kuonesha kwamba hawa watu 5 waliuawa kivipi, na bunduki gani, risasi ya nani ndio iliua hawa watu, ndio saa hii tungesomewa, Madam Speaker, list ya wale maaskari ambao waliua hawa watu. Hapo ndio nafikiria hata mheshimiwa mwenyewe angetarajia hiyo swala ijibiwe, kwamba ni wakina nani waliua hawa watu na ni hatua gani yenye sheria ama serikali imechukua dhidi ya wale ambao waliua hawa watu. Kwa sababu tumeona mambo mingi ikiendelea Kenya hii. including mambo ya kushika watu, kushika wanasiasa, kushika watu ambao wanafanya mambo kidogo kidogo sana. Lakini ikifika mahali ambako polisi wenyewe wameifanya makosa kama ile alifanya huko Ang'ata Barigoi, hata saa hii tukiongea, wacha hata kukamatwa, wacha kusimamishwa kazi, wacha hata kupigwa transfer, hawajapigwa transfer mpaka wa leo tukiongea. Maaskari, DCC, mwenye alipeana orders, na tunashangaa Madam Speaker, na hili swali yenye chairman pia anafaa kuenda kuangalia vizuri. Nani anapeana orders? Kwa sababu tuliposema kwamba sheria ya nchi hii ilipopitishwa kwamba kikatiba polisi hawavai kupokea orders kutoka mtu yeyote ila tu kwa polisi. Hii mauaji yenye ilifanyika Ang'ata Barigoi, orders ya kuua ilitokana na DCC ambaye aliamurisha hii maaskari wapigwe watu risasi. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Speaker,
Honorable Johanna.
Yes.
Do not debate. Just ask specific questions to the chair. That will help.
Nimeuliza kama tatu hivi.
I give you 2 minutes now.
Nimeuliza kama tatu hivi. Maaskari ambao walipiga hawa watu risasi wako wapi? Wako kazini? Wamekamatwa ama wamevutwa kazi? Hiyo ni swali ya kwanza. Swali ya pili, DCC ambaye tunaambiwa kwamba alipigwa transfer, ambaye saa hii ako ofisini huko Lolgorian. Mimi mwenyewe ningependa kusema ya kwamba labda hiyo sio makosa ya chairman, lakini Mheshimiwa Speaker, huyo waziri aletwe hapa ajibu kwamba huyo DCC bado wako kazini ama hayuko kazini. La tatu, tungependa pia tujue kutoka serikali, hii mauaji inaendelea Kenya mzima, including hiyo Ang'ata Barigoi, including hata hii ya priest yenye aliuawa juzi na risasi. Hii watu, na including pia kwa sababu baada ya hawa watu 5 kuuawa, siku 2 baadaye mtu mwingine pia hapo aliuawa na risasi. Lakini mpaka wa leo hakuna mtu amekamatwa. Wale 5 hakuna mtu wenye amekamatwa, wenye alihusika. Yule moja pia ambaye anaitwa Lang'at hajakamatwa, mwenye waliuaua. Yule priest yenye tuliona juzi hata hajazikwa. Wale watu walimuua hawajakamatwa. Kwa hivyo tunataka kujua kama serikali inahusika na haya mauaji ama wao wenyewe wameshindwa kutekeleza hiyo kazi.
Chairman, I would like to give you a chance to make comments on this, so that we make a decision on what will be done.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. But before I kind of respond to, it's worth to note, Madam Speaker, that besides being the chair of this committee, I'm equally a member of the Narok County, where my 2 colleagues also come from. And the people of Ang'ata Barigoi are my great friends and supporters. And I'm equally affected by the loss. And I think I made that one very clearly. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, is also worth noting, as well put by yourself, that of course the statement is written and signed by the Speaker, by the CS. And the statement was signed and written on 30th, almost a month ago. So if for some reasons, maybe some information, especially on the transfer of the DCC, I may need to look for the latest update status report, because as far as I know, that DC was supposed to be transferred immediately. The CS was there, he pronounced it, and I actually want to ride on what my colleagues have said, that unless it's serving somebody's interest, that DCC was supposed to have been transferred just immediately. And if it is still there, I need actually to look the reason why it's still, because the issue of handing over may not take a month. But if need be, as asked by Sunguli, maybe next week, Honorable Speaker, I can able to come with the latest update, especially on what happened with the DCC was supposed to go there. On the issue of IPOA, I want to assure the House and the country that this is an institution that is mandated by law to look excesses of the police. If there are rogue police officers who take the law by their hands and kill innocent Kenyans, the IPOA is the mandated institution to undertake investigation and bring them to books. And I want to assure the country and the Member of Parliament that they are well-resourced, they're well-competent, and they can able to do the job. And I want also to say, Madam Speaker, on the issue of the police officers who were stationed in Angata Barikoi, at least that one I can confirm that the majority of them have been since transferred. But if there is one or two who have not, I can still able to make the case with IG so that they can able to be transferred. Because until then, at least the people who are affected will able to see sense of justice and fairness being done. On the other question, because I think the issue of the DCC, I made it clear, you can give me to Tuesday next week to give the status update on why the DCC is still in Lorgorian, because I'm not aware whether he chaired the meeting. I think that is all I have to say. I want also to appreciate, Madam Speaker, that as much as has been confirmed by the two colleagues, there is a lot of negotiation and mediation ongoing on the issues of land. And I'm very hopeful that we can able to get an amicable solution and a lasting peace into this problem. And once the issue of land is sorted, because it has been the cause of all this problem, then the security issue will be also equally be sorted.
Honorable members, I do not know whether you would like us to continue doing the back and forth. I want to give a ruling, honorable members, because the House must make progress. We have several questions to be responded to. And I have listened to the honorable member for Kilgoris, and he appreciates that the question is partially satisfactorily responded to. But there are a few issues that he needs to be updated. And the chair has committed to be able to avail this information in a week.
Just give me a minute.
I give you,
just a minute.
okay.
There is a question, I'm sure that's what he wanted. On the issue of the use of live ammunition, it's very clear, Honorable Speaker, here, even from the response from the Speaker, from the CS, and read by myself. No individual or institution explicitly authorize the use of live ammunition. So I think that should get on record. The statement is here. I will table on the House so that we don't get confused. There is no authority whatsoever given to anyone to kill innocent and unarmed Kenyans. So I think that should be rest of that.
Honorable members, for the purpose of progress, the chair will avail responses to the questions that have been raised by the honorable member for Kilgoris and the honorable Johanna Ngeno next week in your committee sittings. Thank you. In committee, not in the House, honorable members, in the committee. You have other questions? The question by the Honorable Doris Donya, that one we have said deferred on request to the Speaker, which was assented to. The other two, please table on record.
I think I'd read them. Actually, it's only one. The other one was not ready.
I can assist you. The one by the Honorable Adan Kainan, member for Elders.
I don't, Madam Speaker, I don't have that one ready.
Sorry. I want to take that again. Listen, by the Honorable Beatrice Kemei. She's not in the House, so would you like to table on record?
Unfortunately, actually, it is listed, but I don't have that response, rather. But I have one for the Mogotio.
That one is deferred.
Yes.
The one for the Honorable Ruben Kiborek, member for Mogotio.
I will table it on the table.
Proceed to table, please.
Okay, thank you.
The one for budget. I'll go now to the one for blue economy. Please proceed, Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have a response of a statement by the Honorable Kainan, who is the Member of Parliament of Elders. And Madam Speaker, I want to be on record that I have the response from the Cabinet Secretary, Engineer Eric Murithi Muka, and I want to table the response, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, the other statements. You have tabled on record, Honorable Chair. Thank you. Honorable members, the other statements, I defer all to a time when they'll be scheduled by the House Business Committee for the convenience of the House. Yes, we can. Okay, next order. That will be number 8.
Order number 8, motion, third report on consideration of the audited accounts of specified corporations. Mover to reply.
Yes, there is a honorable member who is ready to reply on behalf of the chair. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to reply on behalf of the chairman of PIC on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture. Madam Speaker, I'm a member of that committee. Madam Speaker, I want to thank members of Parliament that responded and gave their views on the report. As a committee, we've taken note of all the responses, and we're going to utilize those responses and counsel in our next reports. Madam Speaker, I only want to beg that the Committee on Implementation, once this report is adopted, will be able to take up and fast track all the recommendations that we made in that report, so that the state corporations will be able to utilize the responses and the recommendations and align with the regulations and what we recommended. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Also, for the convenience of the House, I defer putting of the question to a time when it will be scheduled by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 12, motion, consideration of sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation, Honorable Kagogo, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to move the motion that this House adopts the report of Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation and its consideration on sessional paper number 7 of the National Sanitation Management Policy laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17th April 2025, and approves the sessional paper subject to the revisions contained in the schedule to the report. Honorable Speaker, this policy was developed by the ministry together with the African Population and Health Research Center. And Madam Speaker, the policy aims to streamline the sanitation management in Kenya. Its objectives includes expanding the access to safe, improving public health outcomes, and reducing environmental pollution. It also addresses the long-standing gaps in governance, financing, and infrastructure development related to sanitation. The constitutional basis of the policy, Madam Speaker, lies on Article 43, Sub-Article 1B of the Constitution, which guarantees every person the right to accessible and adequate housing to a reasonable standard sanitation. Furthermore, paragraph 11B, part 2 of the 4th schedule assigns the function of sanitation services to county governments under the devolved system. Honorable Speaker, sanitation has historically been neglected. And that is why we have this, we are coming up with a national sanitation policy. Madam Speaker, the committee observed that despite the constitutional and environmental imperatives for sound legal regime to support the right to sanitation and devolved service delivery, the current legal and regulatory framework remains fragmented. Sanitation-related provisions are scattered across multiple laws, many of which treat sanitation only as a peripheral issue. Madam Speaker, as it is, when you talk of sanitation, you will find that under the Ministry of Education, there is a sanitation in terms of building toilets in public schools or all the primaries and secondary schools. When you go to Ministry of Health, there is also the issue of sanitation. When you go to urban planning, there is issue of sanitation, and they have their own policies. That is why, Madam Speaker, there is need to have one national sanitation policy. And as such, there is a coherent, there is no coherent legislative or regulatory framework articulating the normative principles, institutional arrangements, and governance structures reflective of modern international constitutional and policy development. This policy, Madam Speaker, seeks to bridge these critical gaps. Honorable Speaker, the committee made several key observations during the review. For example, the policy proposes an enactment of environmental health and sanitation bill to address the fragmented sanitation laws. However, the committee recommends that the ministry, that's the Ministry of Water and Sanitation, also considers amending the Water Amendment Act, CAV 372, to incorporate the sanitation issues, as these are closely intertwined and with water management and related infrastructure. The committee further recommends that the policy be reviewed to align with the recent legislative changes together with the area of waste management to ensure consistency in the definitions and terminologies used, such as the terms sanitation. Honorable Speaker, clarity on the roles and responsibilities of the national government and the county governments and the other stakeholders is essential. Paragraph 6 and 7 of the policy refers to an annual multi-stakeholder review forums coordinated by the ministry responsible for sanitation. This forum is intended to monitor and evaluate the policy implementation based on a clear national guidelines. The committee recommends that these guidelines, regulations to be developed by the ministry, should explicitly outline the mandates of the county governments and relevant agencies to avoid the overlaps and conflicts in the implementation. After a thorough review of the session of paper number 7 of 2024, Honorable Speaker, and the consideration of the submission by the key stakeholders, the committee recommends the approval of the policy subject to the revision outlined in the Schedule 1 of the report. And Honorable Speaker, when we sat as a committee and the ministry appeared before us and many stakeholders, we realized, Honorable Speaker, that as a government, over the years, we've been looking into the water projects, water distributions, and we've been disregarding the sanitation over a while. And that is why when the ministry, together with the stakeholders, Honorable Speaker, came up with this policy as a committee, we thought it is wise that we prove it before this House, and we approve that report. Madam Speaker, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the members of the Committee of Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation for their diligence and dedication during the processing of this policy, and also thank our Secretariat for their unwavering support and the stakeholders also who made their submissions. And indeed, Madam Speaker, I want to ask the honorable colleagues, the members of National Assembly here, that you go through that report, the report which I tabled some time back in this House, Honorable Speaker, and I want to persuade all of you that we approve the national sanitation policy so that it becomes a framework for any institution which is coming up with any sanitation legislation, whether the county government or anyone else. We have a framework as a country. Madam Speaker, I want to move and then ask my colleague and a member of the committee, the Honorable Dorothy Mudhoni, the member for Meru County, to second. Thank you, Madam.
Honorable Mudhoni, please proceed. Please trace the Honorable Mudhoni and make sure that she has a microphone.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank my chair, Honorable Boyen, for bringing in this very important submission before the floor of this House. Honorable Speaker, sanitation has historically been neglected in the water policy framework, leading to minimal investment in this particular sector. According to the reports by the World Bank and UNICEF, 2021, only 16% of urban Kenya had sewer coverage, and 21 counties which have no sewer coverage at all. Honorable Speaker, that is why it is equally very, very important that as a house, we all join in and support this agreement on the sessional paper number 7 of 2022 on the National Sanitation Management Policy. Honorable Speaker, it's important to note that for a long time, as the chair has indicated, we have always thought about water connectivity. We have endeavored to ensure that we have water in every household, but Honorable Speaker, we have forever forgotten about the sewer connectivity. It is important, Honorable Speaker, that for us to succeed as a country, we must work jointly, both the county governments and the national government, to ensure that this sessional paper serves the intended intent, so that as we endeavor to connect water in all the households, we equally endeavor to have sewer connectivity. Honorable Speaker, this will avert even hygienically. We will have our towns clean. We will have a clean environment where we will not be worrying about waterborne diseases and other dangers that come with sewer system spilling all over. Honorable Speaker, I want to say I second this motion and I urge the House to support this. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on its consideration of sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy laid on the table of this House on Thursday, 17th April 2025, and approves sessional paper number 7 of 2024 on the National Sanitation Management Policy, subject to the revisions as contained in the schedule to the report. Yes, Honorable Sonkoli.
Madam Speaker, I would like to support this policy, although in my opinion, it is not adequate. And I have not heard the chairman or the mover of the motion say how much public participation this has gone through, or at any rate, the quality of the public participation for this. Because, Madam Speaker, this is an area of our life that actually requires a lot of attention. I know that at the preamble at one of the preambles, the principal secretary, Mr. Julius Korir, has said that the intention of this policy is to make Kenya a clean, a prosperous, and secure country. But you can see, Madam Speaker, because all of us travel, especially to the West, that we are still below the mark a lot. And that we need actually to pay attention to our sanitation among everything else. You know, when you go travel outside Kenya, you get the impression that people believe that Africans are dirty and that things that come from Africa are not clean. The food is not clean. And when you visit Africa, you visit with a bottle of water because the water is not clean. I was in Geneva the other day, and in Geneva, you are advised not to buy water because the water from the tap is clean. But we need to pay attention to a number of things. The first thing that I would like to ask that this policy, although it has been mentioned, is on this issue of defecation. That many people in our country still go to the bush to answer the call of nature. And this in itself has a lot of problems because sometimes the places where the people go to have to call of nature are places which are close to the water sources, and that in the end, this finds itself in our water and makes it dirty. It must be a strong part of the policy that in every marketplace, in every town, the county government must provide toilets for the people. It must be the case. And that we should eradicate totally this idea of open defecation. There are some markets I have visited, Madam Speaker, where they are asking the MP, can you do for us a toilet? So you wonder, if you don't do that, and the county government has not done so, what are the people going to do about their sanitation? The town is going to be dirty, and you are not likely to find a bush nearby that is clean enough for even the goats to eat the leaves. This is one issue that becomes very important. And Madam Speaker, there are a lot of bad manners that we Kenyans have that we need to get rid of in order for our country to be clean. If you are driving from Kisii to Nairobi, on the way, you have to be careful to close the window because somebody is going to eat something and throw the litter on your car. And if your window is open, it will actually hit you. But even if it does not hit you, some of it hits the ground. And if we do not get rid of these bad manners by legislation, it is going to be a problem. Many people have made a policy in their countries that if you are chewing gum, you have to bear a certain level of responsibility because gum in itself is not biodigestible. And things that are not biodigestible are going in the end to ruin our environment. But more fundamentally, Madam Speaker, in how many counties do we actually have a sewage? We are still using the old system where we build houses and you have your own septic tank and you don't know eventually where this is going to land. As a matter of policy, each county must provide for each town and have a place where the waste, either solid or liquid waste, eventually lands. That is what this policy seems to lack. And we need to embed in these policies. We do not give counties a responsibility without giving them a punishment against it. We must say what exactly happens to counties that do not provide for sewages, that do not provide for sanitation. Madam Speaker, I hope that eventually this policy will be amended, that eventually this policy will be brought to be customized, and more public participation, better public participation, be carried out so that we can have clean and safer cities. I support.
The Honorable Rindikiri Mugambi, member for Vuri. Some people would like to call it Bori, but it is Vori.
That's the correct pronunciation, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the national sanitation policy is long overdue in this country. Mr. Speaker, having a clean sanitation facility is embedded in our Constitution, that every Kenyan deserves clean and sustainable environment, particularly sanitation framework. Madam Speaker, a policy is a guide on planning, Madam Speaker, on implementation, regulation, and monitoring. That's what the policy is supposed to address. Madam Speaker, a policy, just like my colleague Alan Sunkuri has said, is supposed to set clear objectives of what needs to be achieved. Madam Speaker, it needs to set standards, the scope of and coverage. It needs to set the institutional frameworks. It also needs to set how the financing will be done. It's also supposed to set the relationship between the county government and the national government. And it's also supposed to be setting how the monitoring upon implementation will be carried out and evaluated. What the chairman of the committee has done, he has just given us a very generalized view of what the policy is, but it lacked some information that is very key, because this is not a preserve only of the national government. There is interagency relationship that need to be put in, meaning we really need to call out a very detailed public participation to hear the views on what Kenyans would like to have in this policy. It's true, the session number 7 of 2022 stipulated and give the general guideline. It's upon us now to move to the second step and try to actualize. And I believe that is what the committee is trying to do. But for this purpose, because we are operating not at the international level of what can be defined as the best practice of having the best sanitation, it is high time that more time is spent so that we can come up with a clear policy that is acceptable, particularly because there are variations in the areas that is going to be implemented. Madam Speaker, you will realize that when we talk about the urban sanitation facility, we have the cities with a very high population. We have what we call the municipalities. We have the market centers. And all these require different levels of sanitation facilities. Meaning, we have to have adequate financing which need to be embedded in the policy. And saying that we are going to spend this amount of money, particularly on sanitation facilities, so that that money is guided, is not utilized for other purposes. Madam Speaker, Kenyans, after 60 years of independence, we need to be enjoying the best clean water. But now if you come to this city of us, Nairobi, I think majority of the rivers in this city are polluted against the international standards of human existence. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, we have seen the national government being blamed on some of these things, but it's a preserve of the county because water is a devolved function. So this policy must take cognizance of the fact that the county government have agreed.
I'd like to give Senior a minute to conclude. Would you like to conclude in a minute? Okay.
So, Madam Speaker, this is a very serious policy. It's not just a simple policy that didn't need to pass it through just because we need to pass it. After 60 years of independence, we lack a policy that is going to guide us for the future. So appealing to this House, just like my colleague Senior Sunkuli has said, we need to go deeper and put more meat on this policy. To me, this is just given a very small part of what this policy need to be. So I'm asking this House, please let's go back. Let's start from the bottom, going up from the small market center, because the population is increasing in towns. There's a lot of movement towards towns. But once you go to the town, the scarcity of water increases. So
we give a chance. I'll give a chance now to the Honorable Adan Haji, member for Mandera West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was eagerly waiting for order number 15 to move that bill, but I'm also going to say one or two things on the policy. It is important that we have a policy on environment because this is where we live in, and the environment affects everybody. Everybody in this earth is affected in one way or another, and therefore, by having clean environment, by having proper disposal of sewerage, it means that the lives of people with proper disposal of sewerage are far much better. They will be healthier. And by polluting our environment, it means that our lives are compromised and even the lifespans are shortened. And therefore, it is very important to have a national policy, and as my colleague said, at different levels. because we need to have different areas or different urban centers, villages, municipalities. We need to have each one of them a proper way of management of the environmental pollution systems, and hence this policy must be very explicit. What we have now is rather a skeleton. It must be very explicit. It must show steps that are expected to be taken from the very low village level to the urban cities, so that once it is passed and put into law, then we don't have to come up with annual amendments of the bill because ABCD has not been taken care of. With these few remarks, I think I say I support, but need to do a lot of work. I'm eagerly waiting for order number 15, Madam. Thank you, sir.
The Honorable Oscar Namulindo, member for Matungu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me a chance to express myself on this motion before the House. And from the onset, I would like to say that I support the motion as on the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, the National Sanitation Management Policy actually is long overdue, and it should have been enacted in this country almost 30 years ago. Madam Speaker, right now, it is a shame as a country that 50 plus years after independence, we still have polluted rivers, polluted lakes, and we do not have a very elaborate system on how to manage our waste disposal systems. Madam Speaker, first I would like to thank the chair who moved this motion for coming up with this motion today so that we can have this management, sanitation management policy in place. Madam Speaker, unfortunately, as I listened to the mover, I did not get true facts or real facts about how we are going to manage to have a policy of sanitation management in the rural areas. Madam Speaker, I'm here representing a constituency, a rural constituency, but the policy is majorly concentrating on the urban areas and how to manage sanitation in the urban areas. But in the rural areas is where the majority of Kenyans live. In the rural areas is where very many families actually call home forever and they do not have anywhere else they can go. Madam Speaker, up to now, even as we speak, we have so many families that do not have water. We have very many families that do not have a compost pit or a dump site, and we have very many families which do not have a toilet. And therefore, Madam Speaker, there is need for this National Sanitation Management Policy to put into consideration how we are going to handle the sanitation issues in the rural areas where the majority of voters of this country live. Madam Speaker, even as we speak, there are so many people who do not have access to toilets in the rural areas. And what happens is that actually they make use of the bush, as one of the members said. But unfortunately, Madam Speaker, nowadays, we don't have many bushes because people have population has increased. People have built houses everywhere. So where do people get bushes? So there are no bushes. So what do? They resort now to the flying toilets. The flying toilets are no longer a preserve of the urban slums. They have now even moved to the rural areas because very many families do not have this simple facility like a toilet. And even in the rural areas, when you come to rivers or lakes, whatever water body that's available, there is serious and gross mismanagement of sanitation on those rivers. You will see most rivers, people bathe directly in the rivers, while others are bathing upstream. The others will be drawing water downstream. And they even wash their utensils, they wash their clothes directly in the river. And that actually impacts negatively on the sanitation of that water body because others use the same water for drinking downstream. So, Madam Speaker, there is need for us to also consider the rural areas when we are making these policies so that we don't look like.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Professor Phyllis Bato, member for Moiben. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also rise to support the bill from the Department of from the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on this particular policy, because, Madam Speaker, in as much as it has been said by my colleagues, and I agree that the policy should go deeper and try and address every other issue, I agree that it is a very important bill because of what is happening in Kenya at the moment. Madam Speaker, water and sanitation has been skewed to the issue of water alone, to an extent that the issue of sanitation has been relegated. Madam Speaker, in Kenya, as we speak, water and sanitation is focused mostly on people, on the haves. I mean, it's a very rich affair. It's for the rich, for that matter, because it is only those who can afford to go to places. I mean, if you want to go to a washroom in an urban area in Kenya today, if you don't, you can only visit an hotel, a luxurious hotel or any hotel which has. But for any ordinary Kenyan, you must part with some money for you to get the services. So it becomes very difficult. And it is a nationwide problem, Madam Speaker. A case in point is my county, Uasin Gishu. You can imagine Uasin Gishu County, which houses the city of Eldoret, doesn't have an effective sewer line. So you can imagine that is a city, just like Nairobi City and Kisumu and Mombasa. What happens to the other small urban areas? What happens to the rural areas? It becomes a very tricky situation. So I wish that this policy comes up to address and is cascaded to the entire country, from the urban areas to the rural areas, so that everybody benefits. Water is still also a major problem. In as much as we have, the country has tried to address the Constitution, Article 41 on housing and sanitation, water in urban areas is still a problem. Water in rural areas is a problem. Sanitation, water and sanitation are one and the same. You need water for a clean environment. We have also concentrated on planting trees, greening Kenya, but we have not concentrated on waste management. Such that we have, small business people have come up with ways of managing waste in Kenya, like in our estates in Kenya, for instance. You will find that we have organizations which have taken up the matter, and they are very exploitative. They charge Kenyans very exorbitantly for waste management. So I hope that when we come up with this clear and clear policy, watertight policy, it should address it should address all the issues, including the issue of finance, so that we don't come up with a policy which eventually it ends up exploiting the Kenyans, the Kenyan nation more. Those small those business people who have started, who try to manage the waste, should not be overtaxing or overcharging. If you visit, it has become a very serious business for anyone who has connections and can get access to getting a license to manage waste, because you charge any fee irrespective of what services you are going to provide. So, Madam Speaker, now that my time is up, I really support this policy, and I wish that the committee goes further and does public participation and gets the views of every Kenyan, so that once it is done, we will not go back and forth revising it. I support the bill.
Thank you very much, Professor Barto. The Honorable Caleb, member for Machakos Town.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I raised to support the bill for the National Sanitation Management Policy. And I join my colleagues when they say that the policy should have gone deeper, actually, to really take care of the sewer part. You know, we've dealt most of the time with water, and we concentrate our efforts in water area. But we forget that this water that we use, it goes to become sewer, it goes somewhere else. And wherever it goes, it has to be managed. When we have a clean environment, we have a healthy nation. And when you have a healthy nation, even the life expectancy of the nation is high. So I raised to support, but ask the committee and the chair to go deeper and deal with the issue of sewer system. Because in my area, we have a river called Athi River. And Athi River is purely now sewer, because all the houses, the dwellings that are around the river emanate raw sewer to Athi River. And then that raw sewer goes to the big dam that we are building in Thwake. So if we do not take care of the sewer system and have good policies that are taking care of the sewer, we are going to have a big sewer in the name of a dam called Thwake, which is costing the government a lot of money. So Michuki tried to clean the river, and it is possible. It is very possible for us to clean the Nairobi River and the rivers that surround the cities, so that we can have clean rivers. We also have some effects of having this sewer in our lower area. You go down from Machakos, you know the river, that river flows from Machakos, goes to Mwala, goes down to Thwake. You find that we have funny diseases that are being caused by this unkept or not properly managed sewer or properly managed river, like cancer. In the industries that surround Athi River, as I said, Madam Speaker, they emanate all the carcinogenic waste into that river, and then it goes down. That water is used by people in Mwala, in Machakos, and it is very dangerous water because it has these cancer-causing chemicals, the carcinogenic chemicals. So, Madam Speaker, I support the motion, but we have to go deeper and further to really bring policies to take care of the sewer system. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Member for Machakos Town. The Honorable Agnes Pereyo, Member for Narok North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support the bill. This is a very important bill. The sanitation bill is very important. And I think it should go beyond the urban areas and consider the rural areas. Because when you look at the rural areas, people have no toilets, and the rivers that are there are dirty, not fit for human consumption, because these people don't have where to go. And I think it is time that the county governments take the responsibilities to make sure that in all towns and in all markets, they build toilets for the people that attend the markets. And I think it is time that we consider our people and make sure that they don't also take contaminated water. So I think it is important for the bill to be looked at again so that they can bring in the rural areas and so that we can make it a bit stronger to make sure that it addresses the problems that are faced by our people. So I support the bill, and as the Speaker said, most of the towns or markets have no places where people can release themselves. So I support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Agnes. The Honorable Salah Yakub, Member for Fafi. Honorable members, it's a report by the Departmental Committee for those who would like to debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the chance. I rise to support the motion on the House on National Sanitation Management Policy. This is a policy which has been lacking in our management of sanitations in the country. We support this motion because of many reasons. One is that improved sanitations leads to improved health. Improved health leads to reduced budget of national health expense. Madam Speaker, most of the diseases now this country is facing is infectious diseases which are either airborne or waterborne. These are diseases related to sanitation. Lifestyle diseases are very rare, although on the rise, but worried that today we had a compromised and a holistic sanitation policy, then the issue of infectious diseases could have been on our tables today, which means our budget on national health could have been reduced. Madam Speaker, sanitation levels in our counties have really reduced, is appalling, that's what I mean. A case in point is, I come from Garissa County. The headquarters of Garissa County is Garissa Town. There's a sewage done by World Bank to the tunes of billions. But 75% of Garissa Town residents still use septic tanks. They are not connected to this sewage line. And the sewage itself is bursting as we speak today. And because there's lack of sanitation policy, which leads to an act which could have led to people being held culpable, that effect of that sanitation or sewage of such magnitude is not felt in Garissa. So inception or consideration of this policy will help cater for such incidents. Garissa County 70% of it uses underground water. Underground water, consumption of underground water is subject to sanitation level. Majority of people use pit latrines in those areas. So our consumption of that water could have been of higher standards if sanitation policies in this country were in place. Wajir is a case in point, where the water table of Wajir town is very low. And most of the water of Wajir town comes from underground water. Sanitation is appalling. 60 years down the line in independence, Wajir headquarters, Wajir town today has no sewage, functioning sewage project or of the magnitude of millions. I don't know whether it's existing, but I think it's not there. So we are supporting this policy because we know the effect it will have on our people. We know the effect it will have on this country. We know that as a developing nation, we want to reach the level of developed countries. And if you want to do that, then the sanitation level in your country should be of higher standards. If you see a neighboring country like Rwanda, you will be shocked the level of cleanliness of that environment because they have functioning policies and acts which are in place. Our dump sites in this country are not to the standards of MCA laws. Anybody who feels like dumping something dumps wherever he wants. County government have no functioning legislation guiding most of them, or if they are there, they are not enforced to the level it's needed. Our hospitals lack incinerators. Because of that, you will see when you go to hospital, when you visit a hospital facility, you will be shocked to see the number of needles, used needles, syringes, bandages, which have infections lying around there. So a policy like this, national sanitation management policy, will help us convert such kind of incidents, make this country a healthy nation, give us a clean environment, reduce our national health budget. Madam Speaker, I rise and I give my submission to this in that I support this policy, and I hope this policy is fast-tracked so that we have an act guiding to that. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members. There be no other interest in this bill. I would like to call upon the mover to reply. And information on the speaker's desk is that the Honorable Dorothy Ikiara, you are replying on behalf of the mover, the chairman of the committee. Please proceed to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I first want to take this opportunity and extend my sincere thanks to all members who have contributed to this very, very important debate. Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that investing in sanitation is not a choice. It is something that we must do. Honorable Speaker, in the 21st century, it is not anything to pride ourselves in when we are talking of areas without proper sanitation. Honorable Speaker, I want to allay the fears of the members that we are only talking of the urban centers. I did mention that 21 counties have not even attempted to have sewer lines in their counties. And when we say that, it means we are holistically talking about the entire country. Honorable Speaker, we take cognizance of all the issues raised, and as a committee, I want to promise, Honorable Speaker, we'll synchronize all this and come up with an acceptable document that will serve this country behold today. Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dorothy. Next order.
Order number 13, motion, ratification of the agreement on fisheries subsidies.
This is by the chairperson, Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation. And I am informed that Honorable Dorothy Kiara, you are the one who is moving this motion on behalf of the chair. You may proceed. Yes, what is out of order, member for Buri?
Madam Speaker, this is a very important argument for the House to rectify because it falls under international treaty agreement and World Health Organization. To be fair to the committee and to be fair to the mover, this House lacks the quorum to listen and to pick up the motion as it is. So I'm asking that the Speaker, you consider this on the requests of starting order number 35.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Buri. Honorable members, the Honorable Member has rose on standing order number 35, quorum during the proceedings of the House. And in line with that, I would like to order that quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes. Honorable members, clearly, we are not able to raise quorum to transact business. And the time being 5 minutes past 6 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, 3rd June 2025 at 2:30 p.m.